Just kidding. Hello, how's it going? Carter Collins here, Master Distiller at Pennington Distilling Company. Today we're going to talk about barrels. It's a question we're commonly asked on tours and kind of like what's going on in a barrel. Everybody sees them, they see furniture out of them, see whiskey in them, but not really sure what's happening. And this week's a good week to show it. Here at Nashville, we just had 21-degree weather and ice for 7 days. And this week it changed. Now it's 71 degrees outside. So these barrels, which you can't feel over the camera, are just radiating cold, cold, cold temperatures. Barrels will actually soak up the temperature they're in, and they're better than an igloo cooler. Give it 4 or 5 days, the fluid inside will get very cold, and then you hit warm weather and it'll take time to expand back out. But alcohol expands when it gets hot and it contracts when it gets cold. So in the barrel, that expansion and contraction causes the alcohol to push out against the wood and then pull back in. And when it pulls back in, it kind of creates a vacuum in here. Barrels, although they don't leak fluid out, they're not airtight. Wood's a porous material and it breathes. So that's why we have the angel share, because some alcohol actually works its way all the way out and evaporates. In the summer, when it gets hot, that alcohol pushes up against the wood, and we can take a stave out of a barrel, and what we're showing is when that alcohol expands, when it gets hot outside, it pushes against the charred inside, and then that alcohol and vapors will push all the way up into this wood. So it's like a ring, kind of like a Boston butt on the smoker. You can see how far the smoke got into the meat. That alcohol pushed up almost over 3/4 of an inch through this board. In Tennessee, we see a lot of penetration in the wood because it's so hot and humid. Kentucky, it's a little cooler. They only penetrate about 1/4 inch up into the wood. So this into the wood when it gets hot, and then when it gets cold outside, it retracts back out of the wood. We had this really cold soak weather that we just had for a week. All this alcohol pulled into the barrel. We're actually just gonna drill a hole in here and pull a sample of this barrel. I believe it's wheat, but once we taste it, we'll know. But Joey, I don't know if you'll get this on camera, you will hear this barrel suck air in because it's almost in a vacuum in here because it is contracted and pulled so hard against the wood right now. So we'll drill a hole. And when I pull this out, you will probably hear it suck in. Just kidding. The barrel's already warming up. That's how we test our barrels. We pull a sample when they turn 2 years old and also when they turn 4 years old. The reason for that is at 2 years old, we can get an idea of where the barrel's going, how the whiskey's aging. We can nose it, see the flavors that we're picking up there. And also, sorry guys, that's really, really good. It's a wonderful barrel. So like I was saying, the 2-year-old barrels, we can see kind of the flavor profile that it's starting to pick up. And the samples from when they turn 4 years old, we can see where it's matured to. Now we allow barrels to age past 4 years old, obviously. Most of the whiskey that's in any of our bottles out there is 5+ years old. And I think our goal to get to is 7 and 8 years old. There's no finite decision on that. It's just, you pick up more and more flavors as things age. When they're 4 years old, we'll kind of designate them. We'll start seeing barrels that may be a single barrel, just a barrel so unique in its own flavor. We'll see barrels that would be good to blend together for a small batch bourbon or a small batch Tennessee whiskey. We'll see barrels that we want to let continue to age. It's just how we identify them. Thank you for looking in here while we pulled a sample out of a barrel and kind of just went over the top level of what's happening with the whiskey, with temperature and pushing in and pushing out on the wood and seeing what happens in a barrel stave here. Pulling a sample and having a taste. Wish you could join me here. It's delicious. Matter of fact, you can find us. Just go to our website, PenningtonDistillingCo.com, and you can see where you can pick up some of our products anywhere. Also, tune back in. This is the start of a bunch of fun videos we're going to do, showing you the way around the distillery, how whiskey's made, how things are done, and kind of just let you live in our world for a day. Cheers.